Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Saturday, June 14th, 2025, Flag Day and Trump's 79th birthday. Of course, in the U.S., the big story is the No King's Day protests, which again are happening on number 47's birthday. And we're going to talk about the connection with what's going on in the United Kingdom today, as well as what's going on in Israel and how it all fits together. If you're new here, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words, Gematria. It's elementary. There's 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order, the reverse alphabetic order, and both orders with numerology applied. You learn these 4 ciphers, you see through the rituals every day. What's considered the most pure cipher is the alphabetic order with numerology. And as you can see, No King's Day is in that cipher. N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. The numerology of 14 is 1 plus 4 is 5. That's why N is worth 5. O is the 15th letter. The 15 becomes 1 plus 5 is 6. You just do this to each letter using the alphabetic order. No King's Day 47. It's a protest of number 47, Donald Trump. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, Trump equals 47, DC 47. We've talked about this for a million years. Well, it's a little bit exaggerated, but at least a million times in the last decade plus. And remember, 47 is very special to the Freemasons who study the 47th problem of Euclid. And modern Freemasonry was born on a 47 date numerology, once upon a time on June 24th, 17. You had that big event in recent years, the overturning of Roe v. Wade on June 24th in D.C., which is known as the Masonic City, where many of the founders were Masons, and they studied the 47th problem of Euclid. Remember, the first degree of Freemasonry is the honored apprentice, a lot like the apprentice, Donald Trump. And don't forget, the apprentice does equal 211, which is the 47th prime. It's kind of like Bill Clinton, his nemesis. Well, once upon a time, they were best friends. Bill Clinton took office 211 days before his 47th birthday. Kind of like Obama took office at age 47. And Joe Biden was in the federal government for 47 years before he became president himself. But yeah, No King's Day. Of course, Trump does come from royal bloodlines like nearly every U.S. president has. King Charles, his birthday is November 14th. And that is the day leaving 47 days left in the year. Isn't that funny? And Trump's having this military parade for his birthday this year. Do you know that in the UK today, they're having a military parade? They call it Trooping the Colour. Trooping the Colour. Annual military parade in the UK. This year it falls on the same day that Trump's having is the same day as the No King's Day. Now, everyone in America should know that we have kings in the U.S. I mean, weren't you alive when you got the second Bush, King George II, where the election came down to the state where his brother was the governor and the Supreme Court stopped the recount, meaning the Supreme Court decided the election, not the American people? Hello. Again, they call it the American dream because everybody's asleep. Just to remind about this too, when Trump was running against Biden, remember Trump can only beat women in elections, like Freemasonry is only for men. By the way, the first time around, Trump won the 58th election and Freemasonry equals 58, like secret society, like London, England. Again, modern Freemasonry was born there. But yeah, just notice all these words equal 47 in the base ciphers. President, White House, government authority, Republican, Whig. Remember, the Whig Party gave us, Lincoln turned the Whig Party into the Republican Party, and he gave that speech 407 years ago. A nice 4-7, like this nation's birthday is the 4th day of the 7th month, the day we supposedly celebrate our freedom from England, as we do this No King's Day ritual perfectly sync with them. Again, you guys, the sun never sets on Britain because Britain's colonized the world. And that's why we speak English over here. Yeah, look into the early days of this country. People wanted to speak German. They didn't want to speak English because the majority of people were from Germany. There's a reason we're speaking English. But yeah, Whig 47, Democrat 47, DC 47, Trump 47. You can add to that list. News is 47, Vatican's 47, Time is 47. Ultimately, 47 is a number of authority. And time is the ultimate authority, and these people are constantly doing rituals in time by this Kabbalistic code, which is why they pay tribute to 47 so much. And here, let's read a little reporting on how they're reporting on the No King's Day. Millions of people are set to rally across the nation in opposition to President Donald Trump's extreme agenda and to counter-program the military parade in Washington, D.C. Dubbed No King's Day, the over 2,000 planned demonstrations are set to kick off Saturday morning, June 14th. The protests have been organized by hundreds of organizations and grassroots groups, including the ACLU, Public Citizen, Indivisible, and 50501. No King's Day is about standing up for democracy. It's like, if you're out there marching around thinking you have some kind of democracy, it is time to have your head surgically removed from your a-hole. Again, in 2000, we got the second King George, again, where it came down to the state where his brother was the governor, the 43rd governor, and then he became the 43rd president. You learn gematria. Florida equals 43, like Yale, like how the two President Bushes went to Yale and were members of Skull and Bones. Not to mention Daddy Bush was the 43rd vice president before becoming number 41 when Skull and Bones was 41. And then he died on November 30th, 11 plus 30, 41, 5 years to the day of Paul Walker dying in a red Porsche, which he gets in the movie about Skull and Bones, the Skulls, which he was in right before Bush got elected the first time. The second Bush, Jr. And then the next election was between two Skull and Bones members, John Kerry and George W. Bush. And then in 2008, a decade after the song Changes, where we still ain't seen a black president, we get Obama, Barack Hussein Obama, after nearly a decade of fear-mongering of Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden, now Barack Hussein Obama. And then he runs against the racist religion, Mormonism, in 2012, where the closer you are to God, the wider your skit becomes, and that's why we wear our magical white underwear everywhere we go. And then in 2016, we get the chump, after Obama told us that would be the case, on the Church of Satan's 45th birthday at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, April 30th, 2011, 45 days before Trump's birthday, with Trump in attendance. Again, look it up. Obama told the joke that Trump would be number 45. They gave us a nice visual image of the White House looking like a casino. And why did they do it on the Church of Satan's 45th birthday? Oh, probably only because the highest degree of the Church of Satan is MAGA, M-A-G-A. Yeah, there's no democracy here, folks. There's just the American dream, the American delusion, and mockery every day from these Masons up at the top who use this Kabbalistic code, who put it all together with perfect execution, while no one's the wiser. No King's Day. As King Charles is doing this big thing. Ah, man, yeah, he just... Do you guys remember what they did on King Charles' 74th birthday? Remember London equals 74, like Masonic, like occult, like killing, like holiday, like Independence Day. We also write 7-4, you know, our supposed Independence Day from the UK is 7-4 over here in the US. But do you remember what they did on his 74th birthday? We got the two stories in the news. One of the killings of the college kids on King's Road in Moscow, which also equals 74. University of Idaho, and then also the killings of the Virginia Cavaliers football players. And I forget the town they were in when they got killed, but it also equaled 74. And again, those who fought for King Charles in the English Civil War were Cavaliers. Just like how Trump had his convention in the Cavs Stadium right after LeBron won the finals on the real King James's birthday back in 2016 on June 19th. Again, that's the real King James's birthday, and King James's son was King Charles. And again, those who fought for him were called Cavaliers in the English Civil War. They're saying right now a civil war is brewing in America. Things could get wild this weekend with the No King's Day protest. Again, you guys, this is what they're doing to us. They're leading us into another divisive, destructive act that will only benefit the tyrants at the top who profit. And by the way, for some more 47 words, cop is 47, policeman's 47. I'm going to see if playing this news clip will work here, if it'll allow me to do this. All this technology tries to stop stuff like this, but I'm going to try it out. If you guys haven't seen the divisive rhetoric that came from the sheriff here, check this out. For No King's Day.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at.
Woo!
Because we will kill you graveyard
Woo!
dead. We're not going to play.
We're not going to play. No, they are playing. They are playing. They're going to kill you. Is that the way authorities should be talking back to people? I understand that they are trying to deter violence, but that doesn't seem like an appropriate way to speak when your job is to protect the people. And in the U.S., protest is protected under the Constitution, which George W. Bush said was just a piece of paper. Yeah, I could go on and on and on about the 47s, including the 47-story Building 7, where each floor was 47,000 square feet, that came down 7 hours after the other towers on 9/11 was blamed on that man in a cave, and cave dweller equals 47, like Bush used to call him, just like Osama bin Laden equals 47. I could just go on and on and on about all these 47s. Remember when they simulated the Cooties 19 scandemic, the day the military world games began in Wuhan, China, on the day leaving 74 days left in the year? October 18th, 19, which was also a date with 47 numerology. I can go on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, no King's Day to preserve democracy. Yeah, you guys, we don't have a democracy here. We have a mockery. We have a totally fascist system, an oligarchy. It's been this way for a long time. Till next time, Truth Seeker. Thanks to everyone who hits the like and the share.